There's a line drive high and deep to left. It is gone! 3-run home run, Kyle Kubat. Fly ball to left, Sweeney hit well, and Charlie Capsella, what a play! Here's a line drive out to center field. It's a grand slam! Going back is Shaw. He is going to get there. What a catch! And he's going to hop over the fence while doing it. What a coming home. It's Morales to throw on a double hop. Is it in time? It is in time! Here's a rocket. Deep left field. Does this have a chance to go? It is gone! Go ahead, homer. Tyler Wilkins on the first pitch. Play called for a back on the 14th, and there's number 100. Stephen Devaney with a line drive to left. He's 2 for 2. And with triple digits for number 1 as a difference. And here's a ground ball shooting through the left side. And Kingsway has won the Ralph Shaw opener. Here we go. Fly ball deep left center field. And it is gone. Grand slam. Scott Lynch, grand slam. Is the man of the hour. There's a ground ball that's going to go into center field. It's going to be picked up, and it's going to be booted. Here comes the runner to the plate, and Pittman has won it in extras. Walk-off single, Jude Engstrom. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic.
We are live from Thursday Night Football here at Collingswood High School, home of the Panthers, for one of our final games of the year before Thanksgiving comes around next week. I'm Dan Wilkins here with DWB and our crew from Collingswood High School as we've got a NJSIAA crossover game between the Gloucester Catholic Rams and the Collingswood Panthers. We're in a bit of a setup tonight as Collingswood doesn't have a press box, kind of like Delran or Pittman, where we've had to set up on the bleachers, and we are one with the fans tonight. I've got Vincent Folk, my producer, with me. Hopefully we don't freeze ourselves off too cold on this Thursday night, but this is one of 2 games going on in the entire state. There's Camden Eastside and Vineland going on as well. That's going to be starting shortly as well, but they also have their live stream going on. So we can definitively say 100% of the state of New Jersey football games going on today are being live streamed on public YouTube channels. Let's talk about these 2 teams. Gloucester Catholic, we covered them earlier this year on September the 2nd in a 26-21 loss versus Palmyra, and them being 2-6 this year. Collingswood being 4-6 this year. 2 different styles of teams. Gloucester Catholic loves to pass from the shotgun. They have their slate of wide receivers and tight ends. They don't really run the ball much, because when we covered them back in September, the game that we were live streaming them for was 3 hours and 19 minutes. It was our longest football broadcast of the year. So if the same is true tonight, we may be in for another 2.5 to 3 hour game. But we'll see if Collingswood keeps the ball on the ground more. They're 4-6 this year under the leadership of Mike McCune, leading off their season with a 34-0 win over the Maple Shade Wildcats in Ocean City at the Battle of the Beach. They followed that up with a loss to Cinnaminson and wins over Gateway, Sterling, and Audubon, while losing to Overbrook, Deptford, PVI, and Gloucester, being outscored by a grand total of 79-0 in their last 2 games of the year. This is their second crossover game of the year, as they lost to Pittman 41-20 at the end of the regular season on October 26th. They did have a Thanksgiving game scheduled versus Bishop Eustace, but unfortunately Bishop Eustace had to drop out, meaning that, well, Collingswood may have their last game of the season tonight if they do not schedule a Thanksgiving game under McCune. For Gloucester Catholic, though, their 2-6 record, which, by the way, the last 2 times these 2 teams faced, on October the 5th, 2019, Collingswood won 26-13. They won 36-6 in the last day of September on 2018. For Gloucester Catholic, they've had back-to-back wins in weeks 3 and 4 over Lindenwald and Wildwood, but everything else has been kind of a lull. They lost to Palmyra to open their season, followed by a 36-0 loss to Bishop Eustace, and then losses to Riverside, Shalleck, and Cumberland, including Holy Cross Prep, with Cumberland being in a crossover game. They have their annual Thanksgiving game set in stone versus Gloucester, so they play on Thanksgiving Day at 10 a.m. So for these 2 teams, for Casey Murphy of the Rams and for Mike McCune of the Panthers, these 2 have some interesting strategies to go over. Will Collingswood use their elite defense to get some interceptions and get some defensive points on the board? Or will Gloucester Catholic sling their way into the end zone with some passing touchdowns from Jack Mastaro? We're going to take a quick break as these guys are getting ready to take the coin toss. We will be back in about 30 seconds with Gloucester Catholic and Collingswood right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. I'm Dan Wilkins with my producer Vincent Vogt. We're glad to have you with us here on this brisk Thursday night in Collingswood. We'll be right back. Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go. I forgot to pick up my microphone. We are back in Collingswood. It's the Panthers and the Rams coming up. Rams have already taken the field. Collingswood getting ready to go with Mike McCune, their head coach. The scissor lifts are coming up with no press box behind us. Here we go.
Welcome to tonight's game against your Collingswood Panthers versus Gloucester Catholic Rams. Tonight's officials are head referee Stephen Nichols.
So this is a little bit of an interesting situation just because, well, the lights are in front of the field. So if you look at the 50, our view is actually a little bit obstructed, but we should be good no matter what. And, you know, Vince, we talked about these two teams before. We've seen Gloucester Catholic before. We've seen them play in their season opener versus Palmyra. That was a very fresh team. And that was possibly their closest game of the year with the exception of Wildwood in Week 4. But the way Gloucester Catholic plays is through a play of slingshot. They play a lot of passes. They like to go deep all the time, but we'll talk about that in just a second as they're going to do the anthem. But yeah, getting back to these two teams real quick, Collingswood is a team that has been very well proven on defense. They know how to play very good in the secondary. They know how to play up on the D-line as well. But Gloucester Catholic, their biggest, not flaw, but their biggest achievement, their biggest plus is their passing. That's what they're best at. Jack Mastaro is an excellent quarterback, and he knows how to let the ball fly. His receivers just have to bring it down, and they also have to be offset from Collingswood's defense as well. So that's going to create kind of this unbalanced force that I think is going to make this game decently close. You look at these two records, you look at the back-to-back head-to-head performances, and you see, okay, Collingswood won by 13 in 2019 and won by a good 20 or 25 in the previous year. But this is a little different. It's a crossover game. Maybe not every starter that you see in week 1 or 2 is going to be playing tonight. There's injuries that change the complexities of the season. There's different changes that happen throughout the course of a long 2 or 3 month season. So the way that these guys are going to play tonight is very different than how you would see them in August or September. Looks like Gloucester Catholic will send this one away. Gloucester Catholic getting it started with number 7, Mike Freeman, the junior, ready to send this one away. Collingswood coming back to receive with Tomas Money Jr. getting ready to return for the Blue and Gold Panthers. Gloucester Catholic going into tonight's Thursday night tilt, 2-6 on the campaign. Collingswood 4-6. Both teams 0-1 in crossover competition. Here's a line drive, takes a couple of hops, taken in by Collingswood's number 11. He's going to return it down the short sideline. He's got a chance to break free, and he gets inside the 35-yard line on the rush by Josh Pritchett. With an incredible return, he took it in at his own 30 and returns it to the opposite 30. That'll be a first down for the Panthers as they get underway here on this Thursday night crossover. So Collingswood's going to get it started. With their roster is the center, number 57, Vincenzo Angelucci, coming out. And their quarterback, Joseph Pritchett, under center to get this game started. They are going to take a knee, and I imagine that is something symbolic. A timeout is going to be called on Collingswood.
Timeout, Collingswood.
I wasn't informed of anything, but there are a lot of cheers on the sideline, and there are some fans taking videos. When we have information on what that is about, oh, Pritchett. Okay. Well, we just got an update from the fans. So the quarterback, the center, Angelucci, he broke his tibia, and he's a senior, so they gave him one last play by taking a knee, and there is Angelucci now, being greeted by some family down there. And Collingswood is now going to call their second timeout. That's an excellent ovation there for Angelucci, though, in his senior year, with Collingswood uncertain on whether they'll get a Thanksgiving game after Bishop Eustace backed out of the Thanksgiving contest earlier this week. And we'll let him hear it. Vincenzo Angelucci getting a nice hand in what would most likely be his final high school game. You could see he has his walking boot on, and they gave him one last opportunity. But Collingswood has burned 2 of their timeouts 10 seconds into the game. I can't say I've ever seen this before. He'll drop back, let it fly, over the middle. Oh, it's caught! Touchdown, Collingswood on the first play! How about that? Shakur Carter. We talked about Gloucester Catholic letting it fly, but Collingswood does so first, and just 18 seconds into the game, it's 6-0. Well, this game has seen a little bit of everything in the first 20 seconds. We've seen the symbolic kneel, and then we've seen a touchdown on the first play to Shakur Carter. And Collingswood leads early. Holding on this play, it's number 9, Caden Luby. And sending it away, it's up away, and it is good. Sent away by the kicker, number 15, Nate Plotz. With 18 seconds elapsed here in the first, Collingswood leads 7-0. We'll take a quick break. So Collingswood leads 7-0 after the touchdown to Shakur Carter after the pass over the middle by Joe Pritchett. That'll get ready for Collingswood and Nate Plotz to send this one away. Gloucester Catholic to receive. So Collingswood just 18 seconds into the ball game get the score. And they got the PAT, so it's 7-0 after the, I guess you could say, 2-play drive because they had the kneel and then the touchdown over the middle, so that counts as a play. Plott sends it away, gets a good kick on it, brings it back. Gloucester Catholic on the reception. They've got room. They've got plenty of room. It's number 9, Giancarlo Coya, who's going to bring it all the way back for a Rams touchdown. And from what I can tell, no flags. A 65-yard returning touchdown. Are you kidding me? This has been a wild start tonight. Wow. 11:25 left in the game. I can't say I've ever seen 2 touchdowns in the first 40 seconds of the game. So they get the returning touchdown. Mike Freeman to send this one away. A.J. Cook holding on this one. And the junior Freeman sending it away. It's up, away, and it is good. Straight through the middle of the uprights. And what a wild start. We'll keep it here. 7-7. 35 seconds into this one, and we've already got 14 combined points. Vince, what in the world did we just see?
I mean, right now, Collingswood, both teams had very, very good returns. Obviously, Gloucester Catholic having the best one there, but I mean, you look at this. I mean, a great return for Collingswood. They were able to get it on one play. Now, minus those 2, for an ovation, obviously, but
right.
A great, dime, and then immediately the special teams of Gloucester Catholic coming in big to run it right down. And only about 10 or 11 seconds came. This has got to be the quickest 2 scores I've ever seen football, and all the football I've watched, including pro.
I was going to say, there was a game that we were covering in youth football several years back. I want to say it was in October of 2019. It was between Robbinsville and Oak Lynn. And in the first half, there was a sector of the game where they had 3 kick return TDs in a row. Robbinsville had 2 from the same player, and Oak Lynn had 1, and it was all consecutive. They're going to get a squib kick here on an onside. Gloucester Catholic, I think, picked that one up. Oh! This has been wild.
That was a shitty ass kick.
Oh my.
That was a good kick if they got it back.
See, boy, you
So-
better wake up.
Gloucester Catholic gets the ball back.
Yeah, you better wake up.
First and 10, Gloucester Catholic on the Collingswood 44-yard line.
We apologize for any language that Mike may have picked up, but we have fun around here. It's from the Gloucester Catholic opposing 45.
Respectful fun.
Here comes a handoff up the left side. Here comes a nice rush. Breaking free and getting tripped up is
Number 5,
Kyron Ricks.
So first down.
That is enough for a Rams first down. So one play and a first down for Gloucester Catholic. The offenses have prevailed
First and 10,
tonight.
Gloucester Catholic at the Collingswood 31-yard line.
This could be a legit challenger for the highest scoring game of the year in Jersey. I mean, from what I understand, the highest scoring one we've seen so far, not just on DWB, but in South Jersey, was Cedar Creek and Absegami in week 3. That was a 50-48 game in favor of the Braves. Here comes a rush up the middle, and that gets stopped.
Tackled by number 16, Nino Battaloni.
Goes back to number 25, who is, again, not on our roster, but Gloucester Catholic getting a lot of their younger players some reps tonight. And it seems to be working well, as just 90 seconds in, they have a touchdown and 2 first downs to their name offensively after recovering the onside kick.
At the Collingswood 20-yard line.
First and 10 from the red zone. He'll take it himself down the short sideline, and look out. Getting a huge rush there, Kyle Gucklin.
Check that, number 9. Caden Luby.
So Luby on the tackle there for Collingswood.
Let's go, Seawood.
Golden got about
Second and
5
6
yards
from
on
the
that
16-yard
carry.
line.
Not sure why the clock is still running, because he was out of bounds. So this has been a weird game, and we've only been 2 minutes into this one. But Gloucester Catholic's off to a great start. You know, when you saw that touchdown over the middle by Carter, I would have thought it was going to be an all Collingswood night, and then they had that kick return TD and got the onside kick to go their way. Here comes the rush.
Number 5 stopped in the backfield for a loss of
Kyron
6
Ricks
yards.
took an awkward fall. Hopefully he is okay. You could just see he kind of got crossed up by himself. I mean, he tried to do a misdirect, you know, really deep into the play, and ended up being a not ideal result. So it's going to be 3rd and 14 for the Panthers. By the way, earlier today we amassed a milestone of 1,400 subscribers on YouTube. Back in July is when we hit our 1,000s, and we've already been steadily increasing our coverage and our fan base throughout the last couple of months, especially in this football season. Oh, whoa! Almost caught by number 25,
Incomplete pass.
and it's incomplete.
Number 25.
Just couldn't get a handle on that one, and that is going to be 4th down. From the 23, if they were to try a field goal, it will be 33 yards out.
We have 4th and 13. 4th and 13 from the Collingswood 23-yard line.
There was something on the play, but whatever it was declined. It did not affect anything. So, a bit unusual if you say so myself, but 4th and 13. Golden is still out there. They are going to go for it. And as they say, the oldest expression in the book, desperate times call for desperate measures, and now we've got a flag on the play. It's going to be on the offense.
Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
So a delay of game
Now,
on
4th
Gloucester Catholic,
and 18.
and it brings up 4th and 18. This has been a weird game. This kind of reminds me of Keensburg-Pennsville was a pretty weird one as well, but that ended with a pretty conventional 35-0 score. And I only called it weird because Keensburg, their quarterback, fumbled the ball, lost 10 yards, and then gained another 10 for the first down. Golden going back to pass. It's caught. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it's not going to be enough. And Collingswood's going to take over in their own territory, right around the 24-yard line. As the receiver there, I believe that was Ricks. He got back to the line of scrimmage, but just couldn't get anywhere with that, and it's going to be 8:07 on the clock.
We got 1st and 10 at the Collingswood 27-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be from the 27. So Pritchett and friends are going to be back out there getting set to go once again after the receiving touchdown on the second play of the drive and the second play of the game by Shakur Carter. Pritchett in the shotgun. He'll drop back, lets it fly, and there was a lineman out there intended for number 17, Graciano Diaz.
Big G, Graciano Diaz.
They call him Big G, I guess.
2nd and 10.
I don't know if he's listed as a tight end or as an O-lineman, but from what I saw, he was playing right guard. But I guess when you have crossover games like this, anything really flies.
Yeah, try different positions.
Try different things out. But it should be noted that Diaz is also a senior, so maybe you want to get like one last reception before, their year ends, because, Mike McCune, ball is loose. I think Gloucester Catholic might have picked that one up. And it is going to be the Rams who take over, and they'll have their 3rd possession of the quarter. Well, no, it has. Vince, you're saying the ball hasn't left that part of the field. It hasn't in the last couple of minutes, but it certainly did when we were over there to start the game. So, but it's going to go right back to where it started at the 30-yard line, maybe just in front of it at the 29. And it'll be 1st and 10 with 7:55 remaining in the first for the Rams.
You need your own radio station, yo.
And for those watching at home here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, make sure to send this broadcast to your family and friends who can't make it tonight. Golden. And that is going to be a loss. Well, that was actually a direct snap to the wide receiver, Giancarlo Coya. Golden was not involved on that play. And they didn't get anywhere with that. It's going to be 2nd and 11 after a loss of 1. Actually, it's going to stay right at the line of scrimmage at the 29 for 2nd down. This broadcast is brought to you by Tommy D's Home Improvement Center. Place to be for the best wholesale kitchen cabinets and countertops at a heavily discounted rate compared to big box retailers. Visit today on 612 Creek Road in Belmar, on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue next to the 42 on-ramp. 7:05 and counting here in the first. Man in motion, they'll hand it off. Ricks drops it, and that's recovered by Collingswood. Unbelievable, taken in by Roman Florio. And the second fumble of the game, and the second fumble in maybe 2 minutes, gives Collingswood another drive. This is unbelievable.
1st and 10, Collingswood Panthers from the 36-yard line.
When I talked about the Gloucester Catholic game that we did earlier this year versus Palmyra on September the 2nd, when I talked about that game being 3 hours and 19 minutes, I didn't say I wanted a repeat. I didn't say I wanted a repeat of that. Here comes a handoff. Oh, that goes nowhere.
Picked up by Gloucester Catholic.
No way! No way!
1st down, Gloucester Catholic.
I have no words. We have our 3rd fumble in a row. Recovered by the defense. Gloucester Catholic takes it over for their 4th drive of the quarter from the 34. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me?
Possession in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's still 6:51 left in the first. I have no words. I don't think I have ever seen a game this weird in the first quarter. Here comes a rush and taken down for a loss. Goes all the way back to the 40. That's going to be a loss of 5. It'll be 2nd and long.
Football players. 2nd and 14, or second and 13. Gloucester Catholic from the Collingswood 37-yard line.
Direct snap to the wide receiver, Koya. Well, Koya had that kick return touchdown in the first 30 seconds of the game, and now he's gotten... So the wide receiver, it's not a QB keeper, it went to the wide receiver, Koya. QB being Kyle Golden for the Rams here in 2023. Koya, the class of 24 senior, had 2 receiving touchdowns in our DWB feature on September the 2nd versus the Palmyra Panthers, in a game that Palmyra won 26-21 in week 1 of the regular season. It's going to be 3rd and 9 for the Rams as they are in their 4th drive of the quarter. Golden drops back. No, Koya's going to line a throw, and it's picked off. There's a flag on the play. That was picked off by Jasir Cordy, but there is a flag on the play. So this may be coming back.
It's on the defense.
It's on Collingswood, so that's what it's looking like. So this one might be coming back. Let's see what the Whitecap has to say about it here. Defensive pass interference. And this game just keeps on getting weirder. So a DPI call on what would have been an interception by Cordy. By Jasir Cordy, number 8. And now Casey Murphy just asking for a quick word there. 5:04 left in the first. Vince, let's check on how long this broadcast has been going on. This broadcast has been going on for 33 minutes, and we are still just about halfway through the first quarter. So if you're just tuning in, you've missed the 295 rush hour traffic. Now we're getting into some clearer lanes, but this has been a weird game on a weird day. So they call the penalty on Collingswood for DPI. And that's obviously going to be a Gloucester Catholic first down because of how deep that pass was from Koya.
15-yard penalty
But
on the defense.
so I guess Giancarlo Koya is also acting, kind of like a Taysom Hill kind of guy where he can play any position possible. He can play wide receiver, he can play running back, he can play quarterback if he wanted to. Usually it's Kyle Golden back there, but now Koya's lining up again at the QB spot, and Kyle Golden is the slot receiver with 1st and 10 from inside the red zone at the 18. Koya's going to take another direct snap. Oh my goodness, he gets through everybody and gets just shy of the goal line.
Quarterback keep number 9, Giancarlo Koya for a first down. 1st and goal from the Collingswood 7-yard line.
Gloucester Catholic has brought all of their resources out. They've been playing 110% in this first quarter in what has been a high-scoring affair so far, and this could continue to be a high-scoring affair deeper into the night with 2 teams that like to pass. But Gloucester Catholic's been proving me wrong a little bit. They've been going with the run a little bit more than they usually have. But it's been weird because Giancarlo Koya isn't really the usual quarterback. I mean, he got the kick return TD, and he's mostly known as like a wide receiver specialist, but the lefty's going to let it fly and it's incomplete. So not only is he a wide receiver, running back, and quarterback, but he's also one of the few who throws lefty out here. You know, you think about how good you have to be as a lefty to be a starting quarterback, because think about the fact that there's only been 25 or 30 lefties in NFL history, 30 lefty QBs in NFL history. And most of them, you know, Matt Leinart, Tim Tebow, Steve Young, to name a few. Tua Tagovailoa in more recent times. But that's the thing, is that those lefties from a very young age, if they're throwing QB as a lefty, they're usually, you know, encouraged to play other positions. You know, that kind of vetting process. Oh, whoa, here comes another fumble, but it's going to be a holy roller. It's going to go back to the 35. It's picked up by Collingswood, but it is whistled dead. They're going to bring this all the way back, but it is going to be whistled dead. So the fourth fumble recovered by the defense this quarter. This is, oh my goodness. Games like this are why I take ibuprofen. I mean, I have never seen anything like this before in my life. I've never seen a football game with this many fumbles, with two generally respected teams. Gloucester Catholic is not a bad team. Collingswood is not a bad team. There we go. Okay. Sorry, folks. We just got a message from a viewer that our audio is not working, so thank you all for the update, but we are back. Yeah, apologies for that. About 4.5 minutes left. Again, apologies for that. Didn't realize it was out for that long, but here comes the handoff up the middle, and that's going to be enough for Gloucester Catholic first down. So, unfortunately, you missed most of my shenanigans in the first quarter because we had one heck of a quarter. As you guys know, we had the kick return TD, we had the Shakur Carter receiving touchdown, we had the 6 turnovers in a row. Good word. It has been one heck of a night. Yeah, apparently it was out since the middle of the first quarter, but neither of us picked up on that. Yeah, with all the tech that we use, things seem to, wires get loose, screws get loose up here. Flag in the backfield after the rush by Koya.
Number 9 to the quarterback keeper.
And that is going to get them.
Number 9,
it's actually going to bring them back with the holding call on Gloucester Catholic. Ugh. But as we were saying earlier, you know, the Palmyra Gloucester Catholic game that we had earlier this year in September was 3 hours and 19 minutes. And this game is very slowly creeping towards that mark. But, you know, with this being a crossover game, we've seen something interesting at every turn.
From the Collingswood 45-yard line.
No, that's different. You got to hit me 2 hands. Look, 2 hands in there.
First and 20 from the 45. Koya drops back. Lefty makes the incomplete over the middle. And now there's another host of flags on the play. We got dirty laundry on the 40-yard line. We'll see what the white cap has to say. And it is an ineligible player downfield is the call.
Penalties declined. Brings on second down. 2nd and 20.
Everybody that beat us.
By the way, for our only other game going on in the state right now, Camden Eastside and Vineland, in our last update with 5 minutes left in the second, Eastside leads Vineland 6-0. They got a touchdown deep downfield, but missed the PAT. From the 50, Koya lets it fly. It's caught by Golden, stays in, and gets within the 5 of the first down.
Pick up a 15 yards.
So a big pass to Golden there with now under 3 minutes remaining in the half. Don't forget, before you pop the turkey in the oven, make sure that you tune into some DWB football this Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Eve at 5:30, it's the Gateway Gators and the Woodbury Thundering Herd. As the Thundering Herd compete for a state title, they also have to play their Thanksgiving game from Angelo Natoli Stadium in Woodbury Heights. That'll be a 5:30 p.m. start on November 22nd. And, of course, on Thanksgiving Day itself, it'll be the 98th annual matchup between Pittman and Clayton, as there's a pass caught, breaking free, lowering the shoulder, and Kyron Ricks is set out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
Number 5,
As we were saying, though, the 98th annual matchup between the Pittman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers. That will be 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, November 23rd. So before you gather around the campfire with your family, gather around the TV to watch some South Jersey football on Thanksgiving. Only 22 Thanksgiving games in the state this year. I know 94.1 WIP has picked up Haddon Heights and Haddonfield for their radio broadcast, which that'll be fun. I'll have to listen into that on the car ride home, but definitely a, to say the least, stacked schedule in South Jersey.
Hand off to number 5, up the middle.
Kybron Ricks, helmet-to-helmet contact, and now the whistles are finally blown. Look at that. Big G.
No gain on the play.
Graciano Diaz.
2nd and goal.
That'll be 2nd and goal from just about the 10 with the Rams. I mean, the way these guys have played tonight, has just baffled me. These two teams are so different from when I've last seen them. I mean, this is the first time I've seen Collingswood this year, but this is the 3rd time I've seen Gloucester Catholic, and every single time they play, they seem to pull something out of their hat that is just so different every week. Timeout is called by Gloucester Catholic. They use their 2nd of the half. We'll take a quick break. 2 minutes shy of the half, 1:58 on the clock. 7-7. We'll be right back. people were thinking that Gloucester Catholic was not going to be able to handle Collingswood, and it was going to be a ahead of Collingswood. Gloucester Catholic, they're not playing their last game of the year. They play Gloucester on the 23rd, but will get through, and it looks like he's into the end zone. And indeed, it is a Gloucester Catholic touchdown in the waning moments. A minute to go in the second. That's going to make it 13-7 in favor of the visitors. And Mike Freeman's going to come out to try to make this a 7-point game.
13-7 Gloucester Catholic. They line up for the extra point.
Freeman made the PAT his first time. He missed a field goal earlier in the first from 32 yards out. So I think it was early in the second. From 32 yards out. Freeman gets the snap. It's up away, and it is good by a moonshot. That one's going out to the track, and that one almost went out to one of those side streets near the Cooper Lake down there. But with 49.5 seconds left, we'll keep it here. It is 14-7 Gloucester Catholic, And Vince, as you were talking about the ball security, I think one of the things that these guys are going to have to talk about is, hey, don't treat this like it's a meaningless game. Because for some of these Collingswood guys, they're going to have to play 110%. Especially for the seniors that might not play another sport. Maybe they wrestle in the winter. Maybe they play baseball or, play some other spring sport. For some of these guys, it's their last downs, it's their last quarters, it's their last game, especially considering that Collingswood lost their Thanksgiving game to Bishop Eustace, or I should say they lost the Thanksgiving game period because they backed out. Bishop Eustace backed out. So unless Collingswood finds somebody that's willing to make the trip, on a chilly Thursday morning, when it doesn't really mean much in terms of tradition, when it would just be a tune-up game, treat this like your tune-up game. They're 4-6 on the year. It's their 11th game of the year. They'd get to an even 12 if they pick up a Thanksgiving game. But right now, after talking with Mike McCune, it just doesn't look like they're going to have one. So these guys need to take the game pretty seriously.
Don't worry about the ball.
Oh, big hit at the 40, at the 50.
For number 7.
The onside kick, both teams are calling for it, and Gloucester Catholic gets it back. With number 14 on the recovery on the front line.
1st and 10 at the Collingswood 49-yard line.
They've been masters of that all day. They've recovered 2 onside kicks in this first half alone.
It's Gloucester Catholic's second successful onside kick.
So now with 45 seconds remaining, it's going to set up 1st and 10 with a 7-point lead for the Rams, lining it up from the 50. They have 1 timeout. Collingswood has 0, so they have a little bit of time to work with. And remember, they'd get the ball back to start the half as that one is incomplete.
2nd down.
Intended for Kyle Golden. That throw was just a little bit short, and that's going to set up 2nd and 10 here with 37.9 on the clock. I mean, Gloucester Catholic's basically putting all their eggs in a basket in this, waning moments of the first half. They, want to kind of give it everything they have. They have the lead. They'll go into the break. They'll devise something else, and they'll think about it. But I don't think in a million years did any of us think that Gloucester Catholic was going to be this competitive and leading at the end of the first half. I mean, obviously pick sixes can still happen in 38 seconds, but the way Gloucester Catholic's playing right now, they're overpowering Collingswood just by, sheer happenstance. That one is incomplete over the middle. But the passing game really hasn't been there for Gloucester Catholic, while it has been there for Collingswood. So that's what these guys have to expect. Collingswood might have come into this game looking at their recent history and thinking, okay, we beat them by 13 the last time we played them, beat them by 25 the time before that in 2018. I know I'm looking at that, and I thought Collingswood was going to win tonight, full disclosure, but this is anybody's game right now. This is absolutely anybody's game. And whoever comes out on top is going to be decided, I think, in the last couple of plays of the game. Driving through is Caden Luby. It is incomplete on the far sideline. Intended again for Golden. Actually, no, Kyron Ricks was the intended receiver. That's going to bring up 4th down and 10 after 3 incompletions with 25 seconds on the clock, which gives Collingswood, after Mike Freeman punts this ball away, which it looks like they will, gives Collingswood a little bit of time. If they fair catch it, you have time to hurl a couple down the field and see what sticks. They call it throwing stuff at a wall and seeing if it sticks. That's exactly what these guys have right here. These guys are trading drives back and forth. It's a war of attrition. And that's what you see in these high school games where, in these crossovers where these teams are trying to figure out, especially for their underclassmen, for their freshmen, sophomores, juniors, it's kind of like a tryout. What's going to work next year? What's going to work when it counts next year? Mike Freeman traps the punt at his own 40, and Collingswood, after a somersault by Caden Luby, will take it over on the opposing territory with 20 and a half to play in the first half. Just what an interesting night this has been. We've seen the 6 turnovers in the first half, or the 6 turnovers in the first quarter, let alone a couple more in the second. But now Collingswood is going to have one more chance, except time is called. Gloucester Catholic uses their last. We'll take a quick break. 20 and a half seconds remain in the first half. 14-7 in favor of the visitors. So Collingswood will have a handful of plays before the break. Pritchett lets it fly. Almost might have gotten picked off. I think it might have been short, though.
Brings on 2nd down, Collingswood.
Not going to matter anyway. It's going to be holding on the offense. So the pass almost went directly into the defense's lap, and now the clock is stopped with 12 seconds left. Somebody's got to get a counter of how many penalties there's been. There's been just so many. We've had some games where, the first penalty doesn't fly until, towards the end of the second quarter, but we've seen at least a dozen or 2 dozen tonight so far. It's been crazy. There's been a lot of them. These guys have been playing their rears off, but there's just been a lot of stalling, a lot of muffed drives that have given these two teams a lot to talk about in the locker room during the halftime break. Pritchett drops back. He's in trouble. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. They'll stop the clock with 5 seconds left.
That brings on 2nd and 20.
So from the 49, Collingswood is going to have one more shot before the break. Everybody has exhausted all of their timeouts with a good crowd on hand here in Collingswood on a Thursday night. A little bit of brisk weather here in mid-November, November 16th, 2023. for yet another edition of Thursday Night Football here on DWB. From the shotgun, this will be the last play. He's going to let it fly. It is picked off, but there's a flag on the play. Golden brings it back. Back past the Collingswood line of scrimmage. He's going to keep going. He is all the way to the 10. He breaks free, and he falls into the end zone. He gets it back, but let's see what the flag is. Are you kidding me?
By Isaiah Cruz.
Let's see what the flag is, though.
There's a flag down on the play.
Make sure you get that.
Let's see what the flag is all about here.
That brings us to the end of the half. The score 14 Gloucester Catholic, 7 Collingswood.
Well, hold on. Everybody's coming off the field. I assume they got the word that. I assume the half is over, but we don't know what the penalty was. So I don't know. I guess holding on. Yeah, it didn't really matter, but they're not going to count the score. So after 2, it's going to be 14-7. Gloucester Catholic leads at the half as Collingswood goes back into the Panther hole there, and we've got 15 minutes before the third. We'll be right back. Gloucester Catholic leads by 7. We are back in the halftime report presented by Garden State Pet Center, and we've got Brian Tortello, who's been on the sideline all day. It's been an interesting first half of football with a lot of turnovers and a lot of questions about ball security. With 6 turnovers in the first half, it's been a weird one. But Gloucester Catholic unexpectedly leads 14-7 at the half. What's been your thoughts so far?
Well, credit to Gloucester Catholic for being up at the half. That's probably very unexpected. No one thought that. But the turnovers on both sides, really, but especially Collingswood, they need to be a lot more disciplined than they are. But we got a reminder, Gloucester Catholic has played games more recently than Collingswood. Collingswood has had at least, I think, a 3-week break. They were supposed to have a Thanksgiving game, as we all know.
Well, they played Pittman on October 26th, so probably closer to a 2-week break.
Yeah, but still a little bit of a break than they're used to. And this is the type of team, since they are usually undisciplined, they need to have games every week, to keep in the regular game flow. There's some things you can't teach in practice, but Gloucester Catholic up 14-7. Great game by them so far. Hopefully they keep it up. But if I know Coach McCune like I know him, he's going to come out swinging to begin the second half.
I mean, this has been a weird first half because we had that ceremonial kneeling at the start of the game for the center who broke his fibula and tibia, Vincenzo. But then Shakira Carter had that 30-yard receiving touchdown. And then Gloucester Catholic got the kick return TD for two teams that are known for mixing it up with the passing and the rush. When we saw Gloucester Catholic in week 1, you were there on the sideline versus Palmyra,
Yes.
They were passing it left and right. That game was 3 hours, 19 minutes. This game is getting close to that as well. But, the way these guys have played tonight, it's been back and forth. They've made the run game work and they've made the pass game work in some cases. But there's been a lot of cases where they haven't made it work. And they've had a lot of fumbles. They've had a lot of turnovers. So what these guys are talking about in the half is probably going to be how can we hang on to the ball and how can we get those first downs efficiently without chucking the ball 40, 50 yards every time. But, the way I see it, this could be Collingswood's last game of the year. They don't have a Thanksgiving game scheduled. Bishop Eustace backed out. Gloucester Catholic, they have their Thanksgiving game. They want to stay tuned up. They want to get ready for that game on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Collingswood doesn't have much to play for. Gloucester Catholic does. So they're going to come out swinging, and I think Collingswood will come out swinging. And to the surprise of a lot of people, I think this is going to go down to the last drive.
Yeah, and you know what, Dan? Collingswood is motivated as well. It is their last game, which always means a little more to everyone, especially
the seniors.
And they have the school leader in receptions, yards here. He was leading the state in interceptions, Shakir Carter, and he's a heck of a player. And I kind of thought as soon as the first snap from scrimmage, that wasn't a penalty, he takes a 30 yards house call, that this was going to be a blowout game. That just it had that momentum.
But it just mellowed out.
But it mellowed out, and both of these teams cannot seem to run the ball. And when they throw it, it leads to turnovers, but they cannot run it at all. And that's why they need to throw it, and that's why it is a long game. But their strengths and what they're used to is throwing it, but it's really not working for both of them. But they can't run it. Running it has been a disaster.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, one of Gloucester Catholic's touchdowns was on a kick return. So if you eliminate the kick return, which is always a little bit of luck on any level, then
a 65-yard returner from one of the fastest in the business, John Colacoya.
Yeah, so if you eliminate that, it's a tie game.
Yeah. And I think that's the way Collingswood sees it. It's a tie game. Think of it as 0-0 up until the very end. That's where they're playing right now. Collingswood and Gloucester Catholic getting ready to go. Thank you, Brian. You can head on back out to the field as we are going to get set to go for another 24 minutes of WJFL action here. I'm trying to get my head in the light because I'm badly in the shadows right now. But we'll take a quick break. These guys are going to get their final reps in, and we are going to get underway with this third quarter of the Gloucester Catholic Rams and the Collingswood Panthers right here on DWB. We'll be right back. Collingswood still
Sorry there for
in the huddle,
confusion.
getting ready
It
to
was
send this
Biscuits
one away.
calling for a touchdown.
We just had our sideline report from Brian Tortella, and Vince, I'll turn it over to you because we haven't heard much from you. Did it again. There we go. But yeah, we haven't heard much from you, Vince. The way that these guys are playing right now, it's been a war of attrition. What's to expect in the third quarter?
Oh, I mean, I'm hoping to expect at least a little better ball security. In the first quarter especially, even the snaps were getting muffed. They were getting, fumbled there. I mean, we saw a lot of, punts that could have been, but were fumbled. And then again, just the drives in the first quarter alone, I mean, we had 6 turnovers in a row. I've never seen that before. And just look at how the game started off. We thought this game was going to take off. Now looking at the score, only 14-7. The offenses came out swinging, and then the defenses said, hey, don't leave me out. They came in. They started. The turnovers were happening like crazy. But the thing is, a lot of these turnovers, they were not forced. They were just muffed. And then the next thing you know, it looks like Gloucester Catholic's going to do something. And then it looks like Collingswood. And then Collingswood, I have to say, they've had some great passes tonight, but they've been called back on flags. So, I mean, really, it's been like a no-go for both these offenses. Now, finally, Gloucester Catholic was able to get the lead at the end of the first half, but, man, it's been a crazy game. I do have no clue. I can honestly say I have no clue what is to come in this second half, but my clue is definitely to say both teams probably definitely had to talk about the ball security in the halftime. We'll see what happens.
Nate Plotz sends it away, picked up by Kybron Ricks on a couple hops. They had a kick return TD earlier tonight, but this will not be such a thing as they'll line it up from the 33.
That'll bring on 1st and 10 at the Gloucester Catholic 32.
I mean, Gloucester Catholic really has had a lot of the possessions in this one just outright. They've taken advantage of these turnovers, and not just that, they've converted 2 successful onside kicks.
Yeah.
So they know how to control the ball. They know how to keep the ball in their court, but they don't know how to keep the ball in their possession because they have missed a lot. They have had a lot of missed opportunities. And, look, that's going to be something that you're going to have to tune up on before you play, Gloucester 7 days from now, next Thursday. So these guys are definitely going to have a lot to talk about, after tonight and how they're going to utilize that versus Gloucester instead of versus a team like Collingswood where, there really is no tradition on the line. Rush up the middle by Koya. Gets about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. Koya drops back, lets a pass fly. It is incomplete. Intended on the short sideline for Brooks.
On the sidelines, that brings on 3rd and 8.
So 3rd and 8 with 1 minute and 1 second elapsed here in this second half. Third and 8.
No. Oh, they took that from our school.
Rush up the far sideline, and Koya finally gets out of bounds. That'll be enough for a GC first down. The Panther Rumble.
They stole it.
I was going to say, that sounds awfully similar.
Shuffle.
The Garnet Shuffle.
That was what they
See, I was going to say that sounded awfully like the Green Wave Rumble. So yeah. So I think everybody's ripping off each other. Every school in the Colonial Conference is ripping off each other's cheerleading dances. Oh, my goodness.
It's a war out here, people.
Here comes a rush by Bricks. That's going to be about a 10-yard gain. I think that might be enough for a first from the 45.
They'll pick up the 10 yards. And Gloucester Catholic, first down.
Well, it's either going to be... Yeah, I was going to say that's going to be second and short.
Second and 1.
By the way, in the third quarter, it is the Camden Eastside Tigers 6 and the Vineland Fighting Clan 0. Eastside got a touchdown midway through the second quarter, but missed the extra point, and that's been all the scoring that there's been tonight. And that is the only other game going on here on this Thursday Night Football edition. This at Collingswood High School and then Gatone Stadium.
Quarterback keeper.
And off by Koya. He still is on his feet. Tries to lower the shoulder, couldn't get there. And he's going to stay in bounds on the short sideline.
Two Collingswood defenders.
And we'll see if this ends up being a first or not.
Third down, 3rd and 1. No gain on the play.
But the game's set for tomorrow, all state semifinals. It's Willingboro, Rumson Fairhaven, Mainland and Winslow, Union City and Passaic Tech, Toms River and Cherokee, West Morris and West Essex, Mount Olive and Ramapo, that's the 6 o'clock games, Shabazz and Mountain Lakes, Glassboro, Woodstown, Bernards and Westwood, and Camden and Delsey. For the 7 o'clock games, and he is going to get leveled behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 4th and long.
4th down.
What a great stop to bring them short of the first. I did not think they were going to be able to do that, but alas, they were. There's 2 state semis on Saturday. It's Donovan Catholic and Bergen Catholic, to be followed by Seton Hall and Del Barton, with the only crossover game on Saturday being Neptune and Asbury Park, a 2-6 Neptune Scarlet Flyers versus a 1-7 Asbury Park Bishops. Those are at least unique team names. Rams and Panthers. I think we've seen that matchup at least 5 times this year. Here comes a pop-up. This one's going to go on the punt inside the 20, and it'll be picked up by Nick Calzanetti inside the 20, with Collingswood getting the ball back with 7:40 remaining in the third here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Broadcast is brought to you by KP1 Racing Designs. Get a free quote on a commission today on his Twitter page, KP1 Designs. And don't forget, if you'd like to be a small business sponsor on DWB, we're selling commercials for as little as $250 for a 6-month package. The commercials you see on air with Tommy D's and Garden State Pet Center are filmed, recorded, produced, edited, and all the rest by me and my wonderful crew. So if you'd like to get in on the action and get your business on the air in front of over 55,000 annual viewers, contact us today using the email in the description of this YouTube video, thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. It'll be 2nd and 2 here for the Panthers.
Correction. First down, Collingswood.
See, even the PA guy threw me off. It's a first down for the Panthers. So they'll move the ball across to their own 35, and now they'll let it go. Pritchett gets a handoff to Jan Anderson.
Nice move. Gets hit by 2 tacklers. Looks like he picks up the gain 4 or 5 yards on that play. They'll bring up 2nd down, Collingswood.
So that will get them about 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Second and mid-range as Collingswood looks to continue their drive midway through the third. Here comes a handoff.
Handoff to number 9. Caleb Ruby.
And Luby gets to the line of scrimmage, but there's a flag on the play. Coming in from the defense. Be a face mask on Gloucester Catholic.
On the defense.
That will get them an automatic first down. Well, you know, I don't want to brag too much about falling into good situations, but I think that's what Collingswood had right there. They were just barely moving the ball across for first downs, and now, after the face mask and the 15-yard penalty, they're going to get all the way to the 44, excuse me.
Gloucester Catholic, 44-yard line.
So Pritchett in the shotgun here. He's going to drop back. Lets the pass fly. It is caught and incomplete. Or no, excuse me, complete.
Pickup of 7 yards.
Caught by Shakur Carter, the receptions leader at one point for the entire state, but certainly for the entire team. And one of the best wide receivers in South Jersey, Shakur Carter, brings in the ball for 7 yards for 2nd and 3.
Handoff number 9, Caden Luby up the middle.
Luby up the middle.
Nice
That'll
run
be
of about 12
enough for a
yards.
first down and then some.
Collingswood, first down.
Here we go. They are playing hurry-up offense. Look at number 62. Now they're going to have to call a timeout because they didn't have their guys on side in time. That was Frank Keenan, who was really rushing to get back to the line of scrimmage. We'll keep it here. Timeout called. 5:29 left in the third quarter. 14-7, Gloucester Catholic, as we're going to have some guys, I think, throwing T-shirts at some point. Let's see if we can catch one.
Get fired up for a T-shirt.
Vince, I'm gonna try to catch a T-shirt with my left hand. Microphone in one hand. I think they can. I have confidence. I have confidence they can make it that far. I think they're running out of T-shirts. She let that one fly to the back of the grandstands. Unfortunately, no free T-shirts for DWB tonight.
First and 10,
And I'm good catching with my left hand. I was ready to go. I was ready to get the T-shirt. Never a dull moment here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. The runoff to Big G.
We'll pick up a 5 yards.
Graciano Diaz with the rush from the O-line. And that's going to be a pickup of 5. It's 2nd and 5. Halfway to the first down marker with now 5 minutes remaining in the third. I got to say, after a first quarter that just trudged along, these second and third quarters have not been as painfully long. Isaiah Cruz on the handoff.
3 yards. That'll bring on
That should be short of a first. That should still be short. It's going to be 3rd and short.
17-yard line.
We'll see how they pick this one up.
Put that phone down. Put it in your pocket. You got it, bro?
3rd and short. Whoa, and they're going to get him to jump. That was clear as day. Offsides on the defense, and they'll get enough for a first down.
That's a 5-yard penalty and a first down, Collingswood.
What's interesting to me is that because there are no stands on the other side of the field, as well, actually we'll hold this one off with Isaiah Cruz.
Up the middle.
Got a decent gain there as he gets close to the goal line. That first down marker is at the 2. So they're going to go with actually they are going to go back into the huddle. But if you think about it this way, all the Gloucester Catholic parents are over here because there are no stands, period, on that far side of the field. So there are both the Gloucester Catholic cheerleaders and the Collingswood cheerleaders sharing the same sideline. Hand off to Cruz.
Cruz up the middle. Okay. Tackled by a host of
That'll be short. With number 58, Alex Cook in there. And it'll be third down. You know, this is the point of the game where you know you're going to get another drive, but if you fall short here, do you bring Nate Plotz out for that field goal? I mean, it looks like he's ready to go down there, but, you know, are they going to be prepared for that from the short range? Because I think if Gloucester Catholic can, you know, squash the Panthers offense here, I mean, it's 3rd and 6. It's not entirely out of the blue. It's not out of the question. We just have to see if that's what's going to happen. Here comes a pass over the middle, incomplete.
Incomplete pass
intended for the referee, and that is going to be fourth down. Still seeing if Plotz is going to stay on the sideline or if he's going to go out for that chip shot field goal. But there's no such thing as a chip shot in high school. Nothing is guaranteed when it comes to high school kickers. But it looks like after the incompletion, they are going to keep the offense on the field as they're going to look to knot up the game at 14 with a score and PAT. I mean, you know, maybe they want to save Plotz resources to tie the game instead of making it 14-10, because with how Gloucester Catholic has kind of kept a stranglehold on the possessions, you never know when you're going to get the ball back. Pass to the right side. It is picked off by Gloucester Catholic Kybron Ricks. And yet another turnover gives the Rams another opportunity as he kneels in the end zone.
Number 5. Flag on the play.
But yeah, this has a flag on the play, so we'll see what happens here. It is holding on the defense. Wow. 9 times out of 10, that holding is on the offense, but the one time that it's on defense is when it matters most. That interception will be nullified, and Gloucester Catholic will still have to play defense one more time. And they're not going to give them... Yeah, they're not even going to give them an automatic first down. It's going to be 4th and short from the 8-yard line. They're going to try to rush it up the middle.
Quarterback keeper.
Now there's another late flag coming in.
And now there's another flag on the play.
Isaiah Cruz not happy about it.
He appears to have a first down, but we'll see about this flag.
Sideline warning on Collingswood. So we'll see what they go with here after the sideline warning. I was going to say that rush up the middle looked like they had enough for a first down, but I don't know. I mean, the sideline warning,
that's a 5-yard penalty.
Brings them back to 4th and 7.
4th down and 6.
Nate Plotz still on the sideline. It looks like they are going to keep the offense on the field one last time. I mean, they've had 2 first downs taken away from them. I mean, Gloucester Catholic had that interception taken away on the holding call on the defense. And now that first down gets negated by the sideline penalty. Here comes a pass. He lets it float. Tipped. Intercepted. So a second try is the charm. But now wait a second. It looked like that pass was going to be incomplete, I think is what they're calling it.
Gloucester Catholic will take over on their 20-yard line. It will be 1st and 10.
I don't know. I mean, it looks like Kybron Ricks was trying to make his case to the referee, so I don't know if I guess they kept the interception call. And that, look at where the first down markers are on the left side of your screen. They're going to set it up from the line of scrimmage. So they called that pass incomplete. So Gloucester Catholic has 2 interceptions taken away from them in this drive alone. And it's going to be at their own 8. Could be a safety watch here. No, they are. Wait, what? Yeah, I was going to say the interceptions should have stood. That was my question, is why didn't the interceptions stand?
First and 10, Gloucester Catholic 21.
So yeah, now the record has been straightened and it's going to be at the 20. Handoff to Ricks. He'll be taken down right around the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down. I got to tell you, this has been a weird game. I mean, you know, it's 7:48. We're approaching the 2-hour mark, and we're not even done the third quarter yet. That is how long and atrocious the first quarter was. That 45-minute first quarter, it was, you know, shades of the other Gloucester Catholic game we did that was 3 hours, 19 minutes. It's something about Casey Murphy, Kyle Murphy, and Ryan Murphy, the Murphy trio for Gloucester Catholic, that make those games drag out a lot longer. And regardless of who wins tonight, that bus ride home is going to be a long one for Gloucester Catholic. Handoff. Doesn't get too far on that one. Not sure who got the carry on that one. Looks like it's Giancarlo Coya.
No gain on that play.
Again, they maybe got a yard or two on that. That's going to set up 3rd and 6 with now 30 seconds remaining in the third. I'll have time for maybe one more play. I mean, you know, the way that this game has been tonight, it's been relatively low scoring, but that's not what we thought it was going to be. After the kick return TD to make it 7-7 with a minute played, I was making comparisons to the Cedar Creek Absegami game that ended 50-48. That one flies over the quarterback, doesn't even get a hand on it. But now the flags fly. It'll be a false start on the offense. But I would argue that's a better penalty than having what they would have had with the muffed snap. You move back 5 yards instead of moving back what would have been 10, 15, or 20 on the fumbled snap. They're going to let the clock run, and they'll take their players off the field. And after 3, it's been a war of attrition tonight here in Collingswood. It is the Panthers 7 and the Rams 14. We'll be right back after this. Well, during the break, the Collingswood cheerleaders had more T-shirts to throw into the crowd. But it is 14-7, and we've got more dirty laundry. It is another false start on the Rams. Oh, my God. They are now back at their own 11.
That'll bring up 3rd down and
21. No, 16. We're not that far yet. If they get another false start penalty, it'll be 3rd and 21. But my word, we call this flag palooza out here. I mean, we've seen a couple of these games this year that have just been incredible with how many flags there have been. It's not anybody's fault. That's just how it is. Coya goes back, might look to pass. He lets it fly. It is incomplete. Collingswood wanted offensive pass interference, and now a late flag comes in. from the back.
That'll bring up 4th down and 17.
No, but there is a flag on the play from the back. Pass interference on the offense. And I think Collingswood would have been waiting for that one, but now where is this going to put them? I mean, it's 4th down. Well, now the problem is you have 2 balls on the field. They had 2 balls on the field at one point. So where is that offensive pass interference going to bring them? Is it going to just bring them back to the line of scrimmage? Because that usually would be, what, a 5-10 yard penalty, I think?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, offensive PI.
Go to 15 yards.
Either way, Mike Freeman's going to send this one away. Punt, I think, got tipped. It might have gotten tipped because that did not go far at all. And that will be picked up at the 41, and Gloucester Catholic will have prime field position here. Excuse me, Collingswood. Yeah, they are going to be in an excellent spot. But there is a flag in the back.
There's a flag down on the play.
Hold on now. I didn't see what the flag was, but it came from the referee in the white cap. Roughing the kicker on the receiving team, obviously on Collingswood, but so we have seen almost every single conceivable type of penalty tonight. This has been one heck of a show. And now they're going to bring it back to the 48 with 11:41 to play in regulation, 14-7 Gloucester Catholic. Collingswood with the possession. Ball is fumbled. A.J. Cook is there. Yeah, but I think Pritchett got on top of that, and he did.
By Josh Pritchett.
I was going to say, was that going to be another fumble? Oh, my goodness.
Brings up second.
This is a nail-biting game, huh? It's like there's no hope here.
So after the fumble, they'll pick this one up from their own 47. I mean, I've said it time and time again. The last time we saw Gloucester Catholic play, that game went 3 hours and 19 minutes. And this game has been very slow moving. Here comes a pass. He dumps it off. It is caught, reeled in by Isaiah Cruz, and he's going to get enough for a first down at the opposing 35.
AKA the monkey.
That's right.
First and 10 at the Collingswood 37-yard line.
High snap sent
Handoff up the middle, Caden Luby.
by Caden Luby. A big flag comes in from the back.
Picks up
Let's see what this
around
is.
9 yards, but we have a flag on the play.
Oh my goodness. It's going to be holding on the offense. How about it?
It's on the offense. Holding on the offense. Spot fail.
No, we're laughing about how many flags there are. It's crazy.
Here, can I stay?
No.
They're not going to hear us on your thing, right?
Not if you're not too loud.
The only thing that we're going to say is that we need better coaches, that's all.
So some scathing words from the Collingswood faithful as that one's taken in by Shakur Carter.
Pick up of about 5 yards.
So that will set up second down. I mean, this is always good when you're one with the crowd, if you will. You know, there's a lot of eccentric characters out here that always bring some much-needed entertainment to the booth. But 2nd and 13 here from the 40. Snap taken in, pass incomplete. Sorry about that camera angle there. Whoa, look out. A little bit of pushing and shoving going on in the secondary between Kyle Golden and Makai Washington. That'll be 3rd down after the incompletion. Man. If you're just joining us, it is 14-7. Gloucester Catholic leads Collingswood in what has been a war of attrition. A lot of people thought this was going to be a runaway train for the Panthers, but GC has kept them in check, and it has made it a very interesting game to watch. He's going to let it fly. It is in double coverage, picked off. Intercepted by Kybron Ricks. And after being denied 2 picks in the 3rd quarter in the end zone, he now gets it back to bring Gloucester Catholic the possession. The only problem is it's deep in their own territory. They're going to be at their own 10. And it's a safety watch, you know, for my buddy and viewer Brennan Wilmington in Vancouver, Washington. He always loved those safeties. And what do we have when the last time we saw Gloucester Catholic? A safety in the 1st quarter. Obviously, it's the 4th, so tables are turned a little bit, but this has been a very, very almost unhinged game tonight. Handoff. Doesn't get too far with that one. Might just get back to the line of scrimmage.
Check that. It was actually a 1-yard loss, and that brings up
That'll be 2nd and 11 from the 9. This broadcast is brought to you by Vincent's Lawn Care. Fall cleanup now available for the 2023 fall season. Call today at 609-413-0403 for a quote. Second and 11. Here comes the drop back. Pass. Picked off by Collingswood. And now there's another flag on the play, but it was after the pick. So who's it going to be? Goes back to number 16. Lino Battaloni. So Lino with the pick, but where's this penalty going to fly?
There's also a penalty on the play. It's on Gloucester Catholic.
Yeah, it appears to be on the Rams. It is going to be a face mask on the defense. Well, it was the offense, and now it's going to be the defense, as Collingswood with back-to-back picks
1st down, Kyles.
to put the Panthers in the red zone after the Rams were against their own. This has been a wild game. Oh, he missed the handoff. The running back went to the left, and the quarterback was looking to the right. He was basically giving a handoff to nobody.
In the backfield. That'll be a 2-yard loss on the play.
And that is going to be 2nd and long after that failed play.
So 2nd down and 13.
It just seems like there's not a lot of communication. I mean, there would have been more, but they burned 2 of their timeouts in the first 30 seconds of the game in that first half. They would have had a better opportunity, but, you know, I'm not one to be critical very often, but there's not a lot of communication. You're seeing handoffs go in the wrong direction. You're seeing passes that could have been caught, you know, being knocked down, not being brought in. I mean, obviously for Collingswood, this could be their last game of the year, but it doesn't set a good tone for the season afterwards if that's the kind of football you're playing. I mean, you know, Mike McCune's a great coach. He's a very, very nice guy. I just think that over the offseason, as these guys go back into their winter and spring sports, like Nate Plotz, the Collingswood kicker, also the starting left fielder for Collingswood's baseball team as well. So, hey, if these guys are going to be successful in 2024, they'll have to look at tonight's film and say, okay, for the juniors, returning sophomores, and freshmen, how can we fix this? Oh! Shakur Carter! Wide receiver 1! Brings this within 1. It's 14-13. After the offense stalled for a full quarter and a half, and with flags all over the field in these last couple of quarters, this time it's a clean play, and Nate Plotz will now have a chip shot to tie it at 14. Unbelievable. Shakur Carter in the corner of the end zone makes the catch right next to the bright orange pylon. And here's Nate Plotz getting ready to send this one away. It is up, away, and it is good. Tie game, 14-14, and Gloucester Catholic will have another chance to retake the lead. But the offense is back on the board. It's 14-all. .6:25 left in quarter number 4 as Nate Plotz sends it away, and oh my, there's another flag on the play. Are you kidding me?
Offsides on the kicking team.
Wow, okay, so offsides on the kicking team. By the way, midway through the fourth quarter, Vineland leads Camden Eastside 9-6. Vineland had a touchdown early in the fourth by Prince Bordy, and then with 9:18 left in the fourth, Vineland got a safety from Camden Eastside. So that is the current score, 9-6. Exactly. But over here in Collingswood, it's 14-14 here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting between the Gloucester Catholic Rams and the Collingswood Panthers. Here we go. Gets kind of a knuckleball kick. It is picked up at the 30 by number 25. He's going to get through, and he falls forward at the 47. And Gloucester Catholic will have 6 minutes to take the lead. But I think this could be somewhat of a clock-chewing drive where these guys are going to try to score while taking off as much time as possible. You know, this is one of those strategies where it's a little bit weird to judge it from the outside looking in. If these guys had 3 minutes left, they would absolutely try to run the ball every single play to keep that clock running. But with 6 minutes left, you might get another drive. You might get 2 more drives, depending on how fortunate the defense is, you know, on pickoffs and fumble recoveries, which we've seen a plenty of that tonight. Direct snap to Koya. No, it's going to go to number 25. It looked like he was going to rush forward, but then instead threw it back. Got about 7 yards. They'll keep the clock running.
7 yards. to bring up 2nd and 3 at the Collingswood 53-yard line. I'm sorry, at Collingswood 47-yard line.
Brand new yard line just got invented. 53-yard line, says the public address announcer. It's going to be from the 47. We're all having fun here on DWB. 2nd and 3, because this could very well be our last game before Thanksgiving with Gateway and Woodbury and Pittman and Clayton. Here comes the snap to Ricks. He's not going to get too far on that. That is... It looked like it was going to be a loss of yards, but then he turned it into somehow positive yardage, enough for a Rams first down. This has been a fun crowd to be with tonight. You know, we're usually not in the grandstands often, but these guys have scissor lifts for coaches' boxes instead of an actual press box. I think they had to renovate it a couple of years ago. They'll get a proper press box in the coming years, but, you know, this is a small school. It's got a lot of pride, got a lot of heart. Collingswood has a lot of great people behind its walls that make it such a great community. As Ricks ran out of bounds, clock is stopped with 5:24. Now it'll run again, and he gets a big hit. That was a great hit right there from Jeremiah Van Zant. And they will spot it from the 44.
A loss of 1, that brings up 2nd. And actually a loss of 2, that brings up 2nd and 12.
So after the Ricks first down, that loss of yardage.
This can possibly put right now Collingswood in a very good situation, Gloucester Catholic in a very bad situation.
Depending on how these next couple of plays go.
Exactly. If they cannot contribute on this drive, you're setting up Collingswood for a perfect drive with the time being level. I mean, this drive, it was time consuming, but if you don't get anywhere, it's going to be a little bit of an issue.
Well, we've got a flag in the back after Koya had a run to the far sideline. Holding on the offense. Well, you were talking about how it could have gotten very bad for Gloucester Catholic, and it very well could right now, as that's going to be a loss of 10. But, yeah, I mean, wow. Somebody is going to have to root through this footage and count the flags tonight, because we have had, I want to say, at least 25, maybe 30. It has to be. There's been a flag almost every other play tonight, especially in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarter.
Maybe this official, but I don't know.
I don't know if they're keeping count, but you know, maybe they're counting on their hands. But I mean, it's not like the penalties have benefited one club or the other. It's mostly been even. Every team's been getting penalized the same. Look at this QB spy from Caden Luby, and he is down. 3rd and long. Caden Luby set it up perfectly and executed it to perfection. It'll be 3rd and long.
For a 7 or 8 yard loss.
That was a perfect blitz. I mean, he had him lined up perfectly. You could see he blitzed when he needed to, and a big step for this Collingswood defense. They showed up at the perfect time. Now they're giving their offense a good shot with only around, you're coming up close on the 3:30 mark. I mean, you're giving them a good drive possibly coming up here. They can really get some time off the clock. But you have to remember, you also have to get points off of that drive as well. You do not want a time-consuming drive without points. That will put you in a very bad situation.
I mean, Gloucester Catholic's had a time-consuming drive. They've used about 3 minutes on this drive, starting with about 6.5 to go. Now they're at 3:15 on the clock as Koya is going to drop back. Koya lets it fly. Incomplete. Intended for number 23. And that will be 4th and 28. 4th and 28 is the count. So with that clock now being stopped, I mean, if that was complete, even if they were short of a first down, that still chews more time off the clock. I think if Collingswood gets the possession back here, which Mike Freeman is going to be back to punt, and his job is going to be pin them as deep as you can. I mean, obviously that seems like it's the goal for every punt, but sometimes it doesn't go as planned, and this is when you need your expertise as being the punter, the lone punter on this team, You need to do that to perfection. He got pressured there.
To the air.
Almost got a roughing the kicker call, but instead, that will be picked up at the 36. No flags on the play. And that will set up a first down for the Panthers with a tie game, 2:59 on the clock. And Collingswood has 63 yards to score. Whether it's 3, whether it's 6, whether it's 7, they need something. And what did I say about this game going down to the last drive? That is exactly what we're seeing right now. This could be the last drive. If Collingswood stalls out, Gloucester Catholic could get another shot. But both teams are right now having a stranglehold on that middle of the field, anywhere from their own 30 to the opposing 30, where these guys haven't really gotten out of it all night. Cruz gets swallowed up short of the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down. You think about the timeouts that remain.
Check that, no gain. They'll bring up 2nd and 10.
For those just tuning in, it is a tie game, 14-14. With 2.5 minutes and counting remaining in the fourth quarter. Here comes a line drive pass, incomplete, intended for Shakur Carter, who's had those 2 touchdowns tonight. And if Collingswood wins, he would probably be the player of the game. I would say with just how the ball security has been, I don't really see any quarterback getting that honor. I just don't really see that. Here we go again. 3rd and 10 with 2:15 with the clock being stopped. Pass is tipped, incomplete. And now there's a flag in the back.
Looks like it'll be roughing the passer.
Oh, wow. Could this really be a roughing the passer call? It'll be a roughing the passer call on the defense.
Roughing the passer on Gloucester Catholic. That'll bring up a first
and
down.
That will be an automatic first down for the Panthers. That is not what you wanted. Penalties have bitten both teams in the rear several times tonight. And this could be the penultimate one as it brings Collingswood with an automatic first down past the 50 to the opposing 48. They'll set this one up with 2:11 on the clock. May have to bring out some magic. Hand off Isaiah Cruz. He breaks free, but the ball is loose and picked up by Kyle Golden. And the Rams get the ball back. It's been fumblerooski all night, and they get another one. Oh, are you kidding me? And as we have to check every single play, we do not see any flags on the field. Are you kidding me? The tables have turned 180 degrees, and the Rams have the ball back. Oh. Well, as the students always say, start the buses. You can see the Gloucester Catholic bus out there at around our 10 o'clock. They're getting ready to go regardless of the outcome. Whether this game will end in regulation or whether it will go to overtime will probably be decided on this drive unless another turnover returns. Oh, that one's incomplete. See, that only took 2 seconds off the clock. 2:01 was the start of the play. 1:59 was the end. Giancarlo Coya was just, kind of like a Klay Thompson catch and shoot, He got the ball, got the snap, immediately fired it to the first man he saw on his peripheral. So sometimes that's smart, sometimes that's not. Because there was no way with the time that he allocated to make that throw that he was able to scan the field properly. Maybe there was somebody open. Maybe there was somebody behind Kyle Golden that could have picked that off. But you got to wait a second or two unless you are completely under pressure, which he was not in that play. Coy is going to get to the line of scrimmage. He gets a push from the back, and he gets about 8 yards at the 45. It'll be short of a first, and that will keep the clock running.
Collingswood's got to think of timeouts right now. You really, once you get down to this point, I mean, you can see right now Gloucester Catholic is really trying. I mean, there's a run right there. The clock's still running. Collingswood really needs to think about timeouts.
Gloucester Catholic needs to think about timeouts.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Collingswood,
they need to think about calling these timeouts pretty soon.
Koya lets it fly from the short sideline, and it is incomplete. Kyle Golden was the intended receiver. Got broken up, looks like, by Lino Battaloni.
And 2.
Just looking at the stars. 4th and short after the incompletion. If they get a yard, the drive stays alive with 1:19 remaining. If it's short, Collingswood has prime position to win the game. Handoff. Direct snap up the middle. Giancarlo Koya. This is going to be close. Gloucester Catholic wants it to go, and they got it. They barely got it by the skin of their teeth, but they'll keep the clock running. 1:13 and counting now. They're going to go hurry-up offense. I mean, I don't know what Mike Freeman's target range is. He missed from 32 in the first half. Koya lets it fly. It's caught. Caught. Oh, he's on his feet! He's on his feet! Unbelievable! A.J. Cook gets all the way to the 15! And now Collingswood calls a timeout, so that will interrupt. But A.J. Cook... Wait, no. No, I thought they called a timeout, but now the clock will continue to run. I don't know. Wow. Koya back again to the corner of the end zone. Ricks makes the catch. Unbelievable. And Gloucester Catholic takes the lead. What an incredible moment as a stunner on the road in their second crossover game of the year. Gloucester Catholic, with less than 30 seconds remaining, gives them a 6-point lead, getting ready for 7. This is as close to a walk-off touchdown as you get. A.J. Cook opened the floodgates, and Kybron Ricks got it in. It's up away, and it is good. 21-14. Gloucester Catholic with an incredible drive, taking over after the fumble taken in by Kyle Golden. They got a 70-yard drive, took about a minute and a half off the clock, and we'll keep it right here. If you're not watching this game right now, you are missing so much, as Kybron Ricks breaks the stalemate after Shakur Carter got his second touchdown of the night. Gloucester Catholic is just a couple of plays away from winning this game, but it is not over yet. Collingswood still has that kick return. Gloucester Catholic's had a kick return TD in the first 30 seconds of the game. Why not? Why not these guys? Why not them? Hold on here. We have an official timeout. There's an injured player on the short sideline, and he's close enough to the field where it's causing an issue. Because you could see where his feet are. They're right next to the boundary lines. So I can't tell who that is injured for Collingswood, but they tried to get him off the field, but they didn't get him far enough off the field, and now that could cause a safety hazard if somebody, gets tossed out of bounds while they're attending to him. That could cause an issue. So they want to make sure that they can get him out of harm's way, not just for the player, but for everybody else on the field. But we'll see what they do here. But Gloucester Catholic, if you look at where Collingswood is right now, they've got a lot of their guys ready to go on the front line because they've been burned twice. They've gone 2 for 2 on onside kicks. Gloucester Catholic has recovered 2 onside kicks, one in the first half, one in the second half. And they've made it difficult to guess.
Onside kick!
Well, I think that's a pretty clear message right there.
They've
But
done it twice this game. It's worked.
yeah,
I don't blame them.
it's worked twice. Can you make it work thrice? And if you do make it work a third time, the game is over. And if Gloucester Catholic can hang on to this game, by the way, that is Andrew Soto. Or no, excuse me, that is not number 6. That is number 64, Isaiah Clement, who is hurt. We had a shorthand of applause, but again, they are still attending to him on the short sideline. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know how he got injured or how he got there, but this isn't what you want, though. Regardless of what team you're on, this kind of resets the game plan. You know, Gloucester Catholic had the momentum. Now, you know, you're kind of putzing around a little bit. You know, you're kind of thinking to yourself, you know, what's going on? You know, how can we get back in this game? How can we make sure that mentality does not let off? But now it's kind of let go. Mike Freeman talking to Casey Murphy on the far sideline. He'll go back to his position. Yeah, we're trying to stay warm. It was 64 when I got out of classes this afternoon. Now it's plunged down to the mid-40s. But 28.3 seconds is what decides a Gloucester Catholic victory or possibly a Collingswood overtime. So refs are going back. They pushed Clement far enough to where they can still attend to him and resume play. One last shot. Gloucester Catholic might have to go with the regular kick. Yeah, they're going to do a squib. It'll be picked up at the 30. Collingswood gets a block! He got a block! He'll be taken down to the 25! Oh!
Huge run by number 11.
Wow. Josh Pritchett, who had an incredible kick return on the opening play of the game, now plays hero on special teams again. 20.3 on the clock in a 7-point game. Collingswood from the right hash on their own 23, and now flags fly. They're counting how many men are on the field. I think they have too many. No, it's on Gloucester Catholic. They were counting how many guys were on the field. I think it was a too many men penalty.
Too many men. It must be an injury because he went that way
It's a
too.
5-yard penalty.
It must be an injury down there.
So, oh my gosh. 1st and 5. This time,
First and 5?
First and 5 at the 19-yard line.
after the penalty,
He just wanted to be heard. That's all.
Pritchett in the shotgun with a chance. It's caught!
Complete pass to number 11, Josh Pritchett.
Pritchett to Pritchett. Yeah, I was going to say, no. Timeout's going to be called. Mike McCune calls the timeout, but a completed pass. Pritchett to number 10, Jan Anderson. Timeout called at the 1-yard line with 10 seconds remaining. 9.6 on the clock. Collingswood gets the timeout. We'll be right back after this. 21-14. Get up off your seats. Well, we had a quick timeout.
Clock reset to
We're now
11.
back. Clock will now reset to 11 seconds. And Casey Murphy now, I think, wants a word. Well, no, now, is Collingswood calling another timeout? Look at this. They called a timeout, but some of the players in the O-line didn't know it. Mike McCune had to call him over because Casey Murphy was the first one to walk out, so I was thinking that Gloucester Catholic had called the timeout. But in high school and college football, you can use timeouts, multiple timeouts consecutively. In the NFL, you cannot use multiple timeouts consecutively, and that's burned Joe Gibbs of the Washington Commanders a couple times. But
it's the Commanders.
And Pete Carroll, I think, suffered with it once. But in college and in high school, you can call multiple timeouts consecutively. 11 seconds on the clock. Gloucester Catholic leads by 7. This is a consolation game with championship intensity. Handoff to Luby. No. Gloucester Catholic called the timeout before they got the snap off. Oh my goodness. I think that, well, why are they putting 1 second on the clock? Yeah, why do they have, I think that should be 11 seconds. Yeah, I think that, because we had 11 seconds. Well, now they have 1:11. There we go, 11 seconds. So these guys are talking it over. If we go to overtime, it would be our second game this year that we covered that went to overtime. Audubon and Paulsboro, the last game of the regular season, and now the last game before Thanksgiving in the freezing cold outside. We're sticking it out. We're toughing it out here in Collingswood with Gloucester Catholic up 7. Collingswood with possibly the last chance as Caden Luby got into the end zone before the timeout was called. They give it to Luby again. It's a Collingswood touchdown. Incredible. They still have to make the PAT, but they have 6.5 seconds to tie the game. With an incredible change in the fourth quarter. And that makes it 21-20. Nate plots to send it away. Caden Luby, who just scored the TD to hold. If he makes it, we're almost guaranteed to go to overtime.
Blocks is a guarantee. Blocks been the only guarantee in Collingswood.
McCune.
No.
Out there, I thought he called a timeout. Yeah, McCune calls a timeout. 6.7 seconds left. The PAT to decide overtime or a GCHS win. We'll be right back. One last chance. Nate plots after the timeout on the PAT, after the touchdown by Caden Luby. If it's good, we could go to overtime. If it's not, the Rams win. And now Gloucester Catholic will ice the kicker. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Well, they saved their timeouts for the very end. But I don't think any of us thought that this game was even going to be in this position. Whether we were driving here and thinking, oh, Collingswood should take care of this, or whether it was, in the game itself. When Collingswood had that 30-yard touchdown, as Brian Tortello was talking about, our sideline reporter, we were talking about, maybe this game could be a runaway for Collingswood. Maybe we get out of here in an hour and a half. Maybe we have a running clock. But no, it has all come down to this. Nate Plotz, the football kicker, wrestler, and baseball starting outfielder. 5'9", 145 pounds of pure strength. The senior, class of 24. The Rams trying to disrupt, trying to distract. And it's reffed! It's no! Oh my goodness, are they going to go for 2? And it's no good! Are you kidding me? Gloucester Catholic, in a miracle, will steal a victory and avert overtime in the 11th hour! An unbelievable turn of events! And the home crowd silenced.
Bad coaching. Don't forget the bad coaching. We got the best kicker in the league. We got the best kicker in the league. All season he been his best.
It looks like they just got to him too quick. They have 6.5 seconds.
I'm not going to. Knowing the way this has gone, this game has gone, yes, there are 6.7 seconds left. This game is not over yet. I wouldn't be surprised if some random crazy thing happens. So, ladies and gentlemen, this game is not over. Don't go away yet.
From the sky.
Do not go away just yet.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. If Gloucester Catholic hangs on, which we've seen 2 onside kicks go in the way of Gloucester Catholic, what if Collingswood could return the favor a little bit? But Nate Plotz has to be shaken up a little bit after that PAT was disrupted. They tried to get the pass. Caden Luby tried to get the pass off to the far sideline, but it was tipped away.
I'm signing the petition.
You could see.
Gotta go, yo.
So from the 50, you could see about. There's nobody past the 40 or past the 35 for Gloucester Catholic. There is nobody that far back. They are all expecting onside kick, and rightly so. Why wouldn't you? Do you try to kick it deep, throw them back, throw them off their balance, force a fumble? I don't know. There's been about a dozen fumbles tonight. Anything could happen. And now whistles are being blown. Are we going to have a timeout? Yes, we will. Collingswood calls what I presume is their last timeout. We'll keep it here. 6.7 seconds on the clock. And, man, a once elated crowd turns silent with a 21-20 lead in favor of Gloucester Catholic. With our faithful viewers at home sticking it out for us for this long broadcast, grand total of 2 hours and 45 minutes. Could be out of here at the 2:50 mark, but I mean, unbelievable. But now we'll see what Nate Plotz is capable of. Will they be able to trick the Rams? Right now, they seem untrickable. Plotz gets the squib, and they're going to call an offsides. Yeah, I can't always get that right the first try. But that will knock them back 5 yards on the kickoff, and they'll try it again. And obviously that'll hurt Collingswood, as even if they recover. There's no doubt with onside kicks, even if you recover, you need multiple miracles in one. I know this is a parochial school on the road, but if you believe in miracles, you're seeing some right now. I mean, oh my goodness. They'll need to get the ball 10 yards to the 45, where that number 54 is. They'll need to get it there. Popped up, and they're going to be offsides again. They couldn't get it the second time.
Offsides on the kicking team.
So the second offsides call in a row. Will now knock them back to a kickoff at their own 30. I can't say I've seen that often either. I mean, this is crazy. They've had 2 offsides calls. I could pay somebody to file through this video and find how many flags there were tonight. This was a wild game. And it all comes down to this. 21-20, Plots for the 3rd time. This time no offsides. But it's out of play, so it's going to be an illegal kick out of bounds. And that will be that, because it gives Gloucester Catholic the possession back, and the Rams, unbelievably, will come home with a win. They would improve to 3-6 on the campaign. And Collingswood would fall to 4-7 in what would be their last game of the year if they do not schedule a Thanksgiving game in the next week, which I honestly think is doubtful. So they will go into victory formation, and Gloucester Catholic would have their first win since week 4. They won 2 games in a row in 2023 as their lone regular season wins. They beat Lindenwold 54-6 and Wildwood 7-0. And they have 1 game left 7 days from today versus the Gloucester City Lions, with Collingswood falling to 4-7 in their 11th game and the last for many on this Panthers club. The Gloucester Catholic Rams have won a wild one and stunned Collingswood on the road. And even though this is a crossover game, this had championship intensity tonight. What an incredible game. Gloucester Catholic looked like they were out of the running immediately. And then Collingswood came back with that last second TD only to have the PAT missed. As we were hearing from some of the fans tonight, Nate Plots was supposed to be a guarantee, and unfortunately his final snap as a high school kicker ends up being not just a missed PAT, but 2 offsides and a kick out of bounds. Gloucester Catholic will most certainly head home on the buses tonight, gleeful as can be, with a 21-20 win over the Collingswood Panthers. That will be all for us tonight. From everybody here at DWB, my social media coordinator, Anthony DePalma, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Riel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan, my wonderful producer, Vincent Folk, for coming out on short notice tonight. And I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you 6 days from now on Wednesday, November 22nd, with the Woodbury Thundering Herd and the Gateway Gators, to be followed by the Pittman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers in Thanksgiving action on DWB. Until next time, we'll see you, folks. Have a good one.